Hello, and welcome back to the Freelance Friday podcast, or welcome if you're new. My name's Latasha James. I left my corporate social media job back in 2018 and have been full-time freelance ever since. I've worked with a bunch of different types of organizations. Back in my corporate days, I worked with Fortune 500 automotive and staffing companies. Before that, I worked with agencies and I also worked in the nonprofit world. And today I primarily work with tech brands, software brands, that kind of thing. But I also work with other freelancers, other social media managers, and I hear their stories every day. And I wanted to just kind of share my roadmap for how you can make it a full time career today. For me, the number was $60,000. That is what encouraged me to quit my day job, or that was the goal that I was working towards. That was around what my salary was at my last corporate job. And I knew that if I could get $5,000 a month in client contracts, it would give me that freedom, right? Because that's at the end of the day, that's why I wanted to leave my job. I wanted to have the freedom to take on the types of clients that I wanted to work with. I wanted the freedom to be able to wake up whenever I wanted, to be able to work from anywhere. $5,000 a month, I think, is like a really good first goal for people. Now, obviously, that wasn't paying my bills and buying my house and affording me the lifestyle that I have now, but it was that first kind of milestone where I was like, okay, this is possible. Like there is real potential to this career path. So let's talk about how to actually get there. And today's episode is actually sponsored by Metricool. If you are new to the social media management world, or you have been a social media manager for a while, or you're just an online business owner thinking, do I need a social media manager or can I do it myself? Well, you might need a social media manager, but first you should try Metricool. Metricool is an all-in-one social media management system that enables you to schedule your content, plan your content, analyze your content, and so much more. And they are a friend of the show. They're a sponsor of the show. You can use my code Latasha at the link down below to try any of their premium plans totally free for 30 days. They've also got an amazing free plan, but you guys can try that upgrade for 30 days, see if you like it, see if you need it, see if you want it. And you can only do that with my code Latasha, Latasha, link down below. First, it's all about your offer. You, especially today, this was true back in the day when I first started too, but especially today, you need to have a clear, identifiable niche. You need to have an area of expertise. And you might hear a lot of different words used to describe this: a niche, a unique value proposition, a zone of genius, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. But if you don't know who you're helping, why you're helping them, how you're helping them, your audience isn't going to either. And most importantly, your audience and potential customer base, they're not going to hire you based off of that. I send the most referrals to the students, the clients, the friends that have like really easy to identify niches. One of my good friends, Nina, she has a company called I Do Wedding Marketing. And I just think I told her this, like the first time I met her, we were on a coaching call and I was like, you got it. You nailed it. Like if you fail, it's not about your messaging or your branding. And surprise, this was probably 8 years ago at that point when I first met her. She is not failing. She is thriving because, when somebody who works as a wedding florist, a wedding photographer, a wedding venue, anything, they ask me, hey, Latasha, could you do my social or do you have anyone to recommend? Like, who else am I going to recommend? Like, there's only one option, and it's the person who has like the perfectly defined niche, a portfolio full of case studies of clients in that industry, examples of work in that industry. It's just so easy. So I want you to think that way too. Like, what is the industry that you really want to work with? What is the discipline or the type of marketing, the type of social media marketing that you want to focus on? Because niching doesn't necessarily have to be by industry like Nina. I think that's a great thing. But for somebody like me, honestly, sure, I guess I would say tech and SaaS is who I have the most experience with, but I kind of work with everybody still. Like I'm in talks right now to work with a talent agency. Like that just excites me. It seems fun. There's like so many different things that I do, but people do know me for primarily long form video creation, authentic storytelling, authority-driven storytelling. So there still are ways to sort of develop that unique value proposition, even if it isn't within a niche. The simple framework, right? We've all seen this before. It's like, I help X do Y by Z. think about who your audience is, what your offer is, and what the ultimate outcome is of working with you, and make that really clear in your portfolio, your website, all that. That's all the like pre-pitching stuff that you've got to really work out. And then from there, it also makes the idea of pitching a lot more tolerable, right? Because if you're just like, I want to do social media for anybody who will take me, well, that's like, yes, it's abundant in that there are a lot of options for you, but it's also overwhelming. And sometimes abundance can freak us out a little bit. So narrowing it in a little bit and saying, you know what? I'm going to find out who all the healthcare companies are in Detroit, Michigan, or all the women's boutiques in Salt Lake City, or whatever. Well, now you have sort of direction and you can like chip away at that and get really good at pitching that and just like make that your full-time job to pitch that versus just like wandering into any business and going on to every website. Like it's just too much. It's overwhelming. So build that list. Do exactly that. Write down all the companies you want to reach out to, either by industry or if it's by discipline, think of, okay, what are all the businesses in my area that could use short form vertical video, or, whatever that might be, and then work on that. Then you want to start pitching. Like, okay, I know this is like the unsexy thing that I think a lot of people don't maybe want to hear. I didn't want to hear it. I was like, I'm going to outsmart the pitching people. Like, I've got to be able to get a bunch of clients through my YouTube or like some other way. But honestly, the easiest way to start is by pitching. The easiest way to just get that $5,000 a month is to start sending emails. Set a daily outreach quota for yourself. You can kind of determine what that's going to be. But when I first quit my job, especially, I told myself, Latasha, before you do anything else, unless it's sending an invoice or like doing a client deliverable that is going to get you paid, you're not doing anything else besides client prospecting. And client prospecting did look different. There are different ways to do it. There are just like your simple cold emails. There are going on sites like Upwork, like Contra. There's a bunch of different freelancing job boards. Even LinkedIn, you can search for freelance gigs on there. Sometimes it was going to an in-person event, an in-person networking event. Mix it up and try them all because they all work. Like any freelancer will tell you that. They all work. It just kind of depends on like what you like, what your strengths are. For me, I think I come across a lot better in writing than necessarily in person. I get a little bit nervous when I'm talking to somebody in person, and I'm not the most outgoing naturally. So I really liked pitching, writing really solid proposals on Upwork. I come across okay on video. So in my Upwork pitches, I would record a little video. I love the tool Tella if you want to send over cool little screen share, like webcam videos. So figure out what you are good at, what feels natural to you, but truly try them all. Because just because I didn't come across the best in person, I still went to networking events. I still made that a part of my like homework to myself. And I've got things from it. I got referrals, I got clients, and so on and so forth. So set a quota for yourself. By the way, I want to tell you something really quickly. If you are enjoying this video so far, you may love my social media management accelerator program. It really is meant to help you build your social media management business in 30 days. So you get dripped different lessons week by week, and there are actionable homework assignments associated with that. So for instance, the first week, the goal is to help you build a social media strategy for a brand. We've got a series of mock brands that you can kind of treat as your clients throughout the course of the month, or you can work with a brand that you're already working with or your own business. And that is going to be something that you can then put into your portfolio and use when you are pitching to clients. We're also doing a 5K client sprint that's happening this Tuesday, March 2nd, 3rd, Tuesday, March 3rd. And we're going to go through all of these things that I'm talking about today in this video in detail with a very small group. I'm keeping it intentionally very, very small. So we'll have the opportunity to all talk to each other, get each other's feedback on our unique value propositions, on our niches, motivate each other with pitching, and so much more. So there's everything in this course. Truly, it is everything. There's over 40 hours of video content alone. There's templates in there. There's pitch scripts. There's discovery call scripts. There's all kinds of things. Check it out. Link down below. And I would love to have you there. Okay, selling. So once you get to the point where that pitching is paying off, then you've got to convert those people. Like that's your only job there is to take those interested parties and turn them into customers. And where that normally happens is a discovery call. So you send out emails, you say, "Hey, I'm Latasha, I'm a social media manager. I work in this industry. I have this experience, blah 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 blah. Here's my portfolio with examples of my work." Great. The next thing that you want to do is say, can we hop on a discovery call? Can we get on a call and talk and learn more about each other? Your discovery call is truly, I don't want to say it to a point of like freaking people out because like it's everything. No, it's okay. Like you're going to get no's, but you're also going to get a lot of yeses. And it is an opportunity to get a lot of yeses. And I like to think of it like this. A discovery call is an opportunity for you to learn about the client. And my best advice for discovery calls is to listen more than you talk, truly. Most people talk more than they listen. We've all been in a social interaction where we're like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted by that. That person didn't even like listen to anything I had to say. They were so rude. I feel so unseen, unheard. You want to make people feel the opposite. You want to make people feel like you care. You want to make people feel like you are there for them, like you're supporting them. And that's so much of what a discovery call is, truly. Yes, it is also about sharing your ideas and saying, like, oh, cool, like you guys are on LinkedIn. Like, have you thought about starting a TikTok as well? Like, whatever, like, share those tips, go through, do your research before the discovery call. That's really important. And make sure you come with like some quick little tips that you can rattle off just to like showcase your expertise. But like I said, honestly, a lot of it is just listening to their problems and being there, and being supportive and sharing how you can help basically. Discovery calls used to freak me out. They used to be so terrifying to me when I first started because again, like I'm naturally pretty introverted. I think over the years I've gotten more like ambivert or extrovert, but I was so nervous. This is so embarrassing. I used to like sweat through whatever I was wearing. I would be like wearing a t-shirt and I would have to change in between calls. Embarrassing. Now they're so easy for me because number one, I think it is a mindset shift of just saying, like, hey, I'm just meeting somebody. I'm just getting to know somebody. And I can tell this person no too. I have the power to tell that person no if they're not aligned. But number two, I started coming up with just like a script for myself. And there's actually a full script template in the social media management accelerator if you join that. But just like a couple of the things that are on it, icebreakers, right? Coming up with icebreakers, mind blowing, game changing. I always go to the same one. If you've ever been on a call with me, you've probably heard me ask about the weather because it's so dumb. I'm like, I wish I could come up with something better, but it's an easy thing that everybody can bond over and they can kind of talk about for a minute or so and get comfy with you without it being super intrusive, without it being way too business, without it being way too personal. And it's just like something that we can all relate to. So, hey, where are you located in the world again? Oh, what's the weather like over there? It's raining here today. Isn't that a bummer? Or, oh my gosh, the sun is shining. It's really putting me in a good mood. What's the weather like where you are? Come up with your go-to icebreaker, and that is going to change the direction of your discovery calls. I also have a full discovery call role play video that I'll link for you guys. I don't want to spend too much time on discovery calls because we've got a couple more steps to talk about still. The other thing with selling is you want to make sure that you send over your proposal really soon after your discovery call. I have to say, admittedly, I have lost out on so much work because I just couldn't find the time or got so overwhelmed by writing a proposal. I want to like smack myself when I think about how many projects I missed out on because of that. It's like proposal fatigue is a real thing. And how I've remedied that is I have basically templatized it. I have templatized my proposals so that I'm just going in and maybe changing the client logo and like, adding a number here, removing a number there, like swapping really easy things out. For the most part, my proposals are all like the same. I'm just customizing the maybe deliverables or the recommendations in there. And so that is something definitely recommend doing. Create yourself a template. There is one in the accelerator, but you can also just like create your own in Canva or something. I also really love Honeybook. Honeybook is the tool that I recommend for sending over proposals, contracts, invoices. It makes it really easy, and you can even automate them and all of that. I have a video on HoneyBook as well, so I'll link that for you if you want more info. And I'll also have the link to HoneyBook if you want to try it at a discount. Oh, and then speaking of HoneyBook, actually, this leads into my next point that I want to talk about, which is actually delivering and onboarding. And step one to making happy clients, building a happy clientele is onboarding and letting them know what to expect, giving them a little timeline. Hey, here's when you're going to start to see, your content calendar start to get built out. Here is what I need from you in order to start creating content for you. Here's the phone number that you can call or the email address that you can email if you notice something looks wrong or off. Here's the day that my invoice is due. That's important. That's one you don't want to miss. So an onboarding process is very, very important. Again, I do like, this isn't like an ad for HoneyBook or anything, but I do really like HoneyBook because it can automate a lot of these things for you. So you can send over client questionnaires, for example, asking them those questions like, who are your competitors? What are your business goals? Give us the link to your logo. Give us all your company messaging. Like all of that, you need to do your job. And sometimes we don't think about it until it's like midnight and we're like, typing away on Canva and we're like, wait, I don't have the logo. I don't have the brand colors. Ask all that stuff up front. And if you have curated and, put together your onboarding process so it's automated, it's going to be there for you when you most need it. And then I think the other big thing about delivering and getting results and getting more referrals and all of that is just doing a good job. And I know that sounds so obvious. You're like, cool, Latasha, thank you for making a YouTube video telling me to do a good job. Like, obvious, but like, it's not obvious because I have hired so many freelancers over the years and I've worked with some absolutely amazing ones. But I've also worked with some that literally gave me a pretty Canva design and didn't ever get me any results, couldn't even speak to results, didn't know what I was asking when I talked about metrics, analytics. I think there's a lot of that in this industry. I always get the question about saturation. Like, are too many of us social media managers? Are we all kind of doing the same thing? And honestly, the answer is no. I think that the pool of highly skilled, highly knowledgeable, analytical social media managers is actually very small. And what I mean by analytical is you should be able to report on your success to your clients. You should be able to prove ROI or return on investment and explain to them the value that you're bringing to their organization. One of the big ways to do that is by sending over reports. I love Metricool for that. They have these beautifully designed automated reports that you can send to your clients every single month. Just doing that one small thing and also being able to explain what the reports say and explain what those numbers mean and give your analysis on it is so, so valuable. Because I always use this example, like, when I go to the doctor or like the dentist is a good example. Like they have like the x-rays of my teeth and they're like her manibula, whatever. That's probably not any, I don't know. All these names of teeth and like positioning and your bite is blah, 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 blah. I don't know what any of that means. I mean, I know what some of that means, but not really. I'm just going to ask them to explain it to me so that I can feel put at ease. I'm like, wait, am I dying? Is something wrong? And they're like, oh, no, that just means you have giant front teeth, which I do. You, as the social media manager, are the expert. You are the dentist in this situation. You need to translate the problem or the win or the result or just like the thing and explain why they care and explain what it means to their business. And if you can do that, like they're understanding why they're paying for you for your services. And if they're happy and they're seeing those numbers go right and seeing them move in the right direction, they're going to tell their friends. And referrals are the most valuable form of client leads. They just are. Like referrals already trust you because if they trust their friend or they trust this business that they love to work with, you're already on their list. Like you're like, great, yeah, hired, signed, sealed, delivered. I don't even need a discovery call with you. I don't even need you to prove, that you've done this before. Just like send over the contract. So that's what you need. That is truly what I would do if I was looking to get to that first 5K a month. And if you are too, please join the challenge. You can join it by joining the Social Media Management Accelerator. I'm going to have a link for you down below. And let me know if you have any other questions that you'd like me to cover in future episodes about social media management, freelancing, any of the things. I thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.